What is going on, everybody? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Quick Pitch MLB DFS podcast and live stream recording here for Monday's main slate here, James. We got 9 games to talk about here, kicking off the week. How was your weekend, dude?
Weekend was pretty good. Some fun basketball, some fun baseball. I mean, sports are bumping right now, John, right? We got
NHL
some
playoffs start for the Bruins. I'm a Boston guy, so I got Bruins and Celtics both in their playoffs. We got Marathon Monday baseball, even though it's not on the main slate. For the Red Sox, their day baseball on Monday. So a lot of action going on here around the city.
I'm so happy for. I mean, 2 of those 3 teams matter. The Red Sox are already like 23 games behind
The
first
Red Sox
place.
have swept 2 of the last, almost about to sweep maybe 2 of the last 3 series. So you know what?
I'm happy. You know what? I'm happy for them.
Can't beat the Rays though. So that's
Can't be the race. That's what matters the most. The team you need to beat can't beat. No, I mean it's a lot of good sports going on, and we got football players requesting trades, but 9 games of baseball action
yep.
on
We
this
got
main
DeAndre Hopkins
slate.
not asking for a raise. You know,
DeAndre Hopkins, source DeAndre Hopkins, like plenty of goodness going on. John, for this 9-game slate, like opening at 7:10 Eastern, it is a Coors slate, and
They're on the
again,
playbook too for this. So
I am on the playbook. It has been interesting with these course slates. You know why? Because there's been like no good. Well, I guess St. Louis we got last time, but it's been Washington and
yeah,
now Pittsburgh.
yeah.
You have 2 of the 3 Coors
And,
Field team,
and Kyle Freeland is pitching like Nolan Ryan,
and Kyle Freeland is Nolan Ryan. So
and Kyle Freeland is on this slate, which is why we bring
that's
it up here.
it's fun
A
stuff.
pristine 0.96 ERA in 3 starts for Kyle Freeland. 2 of those 3 starts in Coors. Go. I don't know. You figure it out. I can't figure it out. But it's only $7,100 against Pittsburgh. I mean, yeah, this is a. Do you dare? Do you dare to trust a starting pitcher in Coors Field? Because there are some top price pitchers on this slate, James. Kevin Gossman's 10-2. Jacob deGrom against Kansas City, a matchup we just recently saw. He's at 10-1. Yeah, some top price guys. Christian Javier, tough spot for him at 9,200. Zach Wheeler against the White Sox at 96. Corbin Burns is under 9K at 88. Dustin May is 84. Pitchers that we've liked to lean on are up here on this slate today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna get to Freeland. There's an 11.5 game total in that. I know we're gonna get that naturally for Coors
I was
Field.
going to say, they've had that total every time he started.
Right.
So,
But like I'm okay. I'm okay if you believe that he's going to succeed, but I'm also like not against the people that are like, no, I mean, it's just the good luck's going to run out and Kyle Freeland's going to start getting shelled at home. But yeah, I mean, there's a large list of pitchers that I would rather use before him. Pretty much every other name you just mentioned on the board. Are we just skipping our Vegas segment here, John?
no, I just wanted to talk about it because Kyle Freeland was just wild to me.
Okay.
But if you want to go ahead and give us some totals, go for it.
I mean that the 11.5 is really the only thing notable. Every other game is between 7.5 and 8.5. Texas, KC bet down already to 7.5. That's interesting there. Texas and KC are just gonna, I guess, playing 20-game series at this point because they've played throughout the live stream last week, throughout the podcast last week, and we still have KC and Texas on the slate. I guess this is the longest series in history. There's no other like notable game totals in terms of money lines. Texas, who's pitching for Texas? Jacob deGrom.
DeGrom is pitching.
So we have him. He's not listed on the site where I'm looking for pitchers, but there was a minus 205 for DraftKings Sportsbook. So I was like, oh, well, they're on the road and there's no listed pitcher, so that probably makes sense that deGrom's pitching. Jack Flaherty minus 165 favored at home according to DraftKings Sportsbook. And Dustin May 165. Those are the only 3 over minus 160 on the whole entire slate. Even Zach Wheeler just minus 125. Christian Javier Christian Javier plus money at home,
Yeah,
going up against Kevin
they
Gausman.
lean Toronto here, huh? Gausman at 10-2 at the
Yep.
top price guy and slate.
Yep. And then Atlanta with Max Fried returning minus 150 on the road. So some pretty close spreads. Really across the board. Just three guys above minus 160: Flaherty, May, and Jacob deGrom. So some
Yeah.
pretty interesting stuff going into Monday slate.
Well, to hit these pitchers,
Yeah.
I think it makes sense that more people play deGrom than they do Wheeler or Gossman here.
Oh yeah,
Just
no question.
10-1, ridiculous strikeout potential. A matchup we just saw, 7 innings, 9 strikeouts, 25 fantasy points there. Only a $200 price bump. I'll lock into Grom. I think we'll just click the button now. He's going to be our SP1 as we go through and build a lineup. But as we move down, it's about identifying that SP2. You've liked to play a lot of Dustin May, but the Mets, offense we know have some guys that can hit, for some power. Corbin Burns is on the road here at $8,800. He, is coming off of his best start of the season. We kept on talking about it. Corbin Burns is not a mid 8K pitcher. He goes into Arizona and he lights them up. So not shocked there, but Seattle, a little bit of a different animal, even though it is a good pitcher's ballpark there. How are you kind of feeling about this 8K and above range? Max Fried coming off the IL, but he's got San Diego. Lynn's got Philly, who just hung up 45 runs on the Reds on Sunday. So to me, this 8K range doesn't really have like a clear-cut go-to guy for me.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree on the deGrom front. He is the clear-cut favorite, and let's not look back there. So, like, Javier is obviously in a tough spot, not pitching extremely well. He has one good start and 3. We know the strikeout upside's there, but I think it's Corbin Burns. I know this is not like the best matchup per se. I know he's on the road, Seattle, but Seattle hasn't been like outside of Jared Kelenic, because obviously Jared Kelenic is what he is right now. He's on a different planet. Like, they haven't been great. I mean, against right-handed pitching, they're 18th in OPS. They have a 23% K rate. And Corbin Burns is more like the guy we got last start versus the guy we got the first 2 starts,
Sure.
I'd say. So, good pitchers environment in Seattle as well. So I like Corbin Burns here. The ballpark favors him. The upside is clearly there at 8,800. Look, we're going on the 4th week of the season, and guys like Jacob deGrom should be 11K, and Corbin Burns should be closer to 10K. We shouldn't be able to, use Jacob deGrom and Corbin Burns and still have nearly $4,000 to build out the rest of our lineup. So I like Corbin Burns of this tier. The Mets lineup is incredibly scary right now.
Yep.
They're hitting a lot of home runs. Alonso just hit his 8th home run on Sunday. That is absurd. We are the 4th week of the season. He has 8 home runs.
Eventually,
already,
Beatty will get called up.
He did. He got called up.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
So like, I like, as much as I like Dustin May, the pitcher, I'm not sure I can get there. Lance Lynn, Philly just hung 14 runs up on the board on Sunday. And yes, Luis Sessa, not a starter. That is, how long have I been saying that?
Yeah.
4 starts now? 3 starts now?
I do find it funny that the entire world knew what was going to come today. Like, you look at the rostership on Schwarber today and just the Phillies offense in general. But then I was looking at the Vegas odds to hit a home run today. Kyle Schwarber, even though he didn't homer, he was plus 190 to homer. The next closest guy was Judge at plus 255, and like no other player on the slate was under plus 300. So like almost 2 times better than the next odds. Kyle Schwarber, according to Vegas, was going to homer today. Again, he didn't. He did everything else though. They hung a whole bunch of runs, but everybody was like, "Yeah, Cess is about to get shelled," and he did right away. Stott leads off with a home run. They score 10 runs in the first inning or something like that.
They bat around.
They bat around, and all systems go. So it is kind of wild how things work out like that sometimes, where just like everybody knows this is going to happen, and then it does.
This is an interesting spot. Like, Lance Lynn looked still allowing a boatload of base runners, but he is missing bats at a pretty good rate. I mean, 5+ strikeouts in 3 straight starts, 10 in his last outing. I like him pitching at home here. So Lance Lynn is a decent tournament play. And same with Max Fried, because we've talked about this a lot with Max Fried. He is very hard to stack against. And 8,100 is a really good price for him. So I like Fried here a bit.
We joke about Jack Flaherty. His first couple starts, he had 13 walks. Then he goes into Coors, shocker, 5 1/3. Doesn't walk. He walks just one. He allows just 1 run, 6 strikeouts. If it took a couple of starts for Flaherty to get his bearings, he's now got a spot against Arizona. Arizona tuned up Sandy Alcantara on Sunday, but Flaherty at home, $7,800 here, Pitchers Park. Do we think he's turning the corner?
All I'm hearing this whole podcast is you just saying that Coors is a pitcher's park. That's all I can. That's all that I hear. That's all that I hear
so far.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the talent for Jack Flaherty has literally ever been disputed, right? Like his one full season, he was dominant, and then every other season, it's just been injury riddled. So. Yeah, I mean, if he's not going to walk people, he still obviously labored through 5 1/3. If he threw 85 pitches and only got through 5 1/3, there was a lot of deep counts there. If he only walked one guy, and
I would like to go back and look at the game logs and see, was it just that he was cruising and then he gave up a couple of runs, a couple of hits there, and they pulled him at the 85 because he's gotten 95 and 94 the starts before. So it's not. It didn't seem like a pitch count.
Well, that doesn't feel. I mean, middle of inning doesn't feel cruising. Middle of inning feels like in trouble.
Well, I mean, cruising through 5 gets to the 5th and then
gets in trouble,
hit, double, something like that, and next thing you know that he's out. So
right.
That's again, I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at the game logs, which we can certainly do right now, because it is weird to pull him at a pitch count less than he's thrown all season long in his starts, and then also in the middle of an inning without it being some situation where maybe he was starting to get tagged a little bit. So the 12th game log here, box score. Let's see. So Rockies scored in the end of the 4th inning, but so they didn't end up scoring in the 5th. Let's see. Top of the 5th, bottom of the 5th here. Top of the 6th. Flaherty pitching, single, strikeout, double, and then they took him out. So
second and third. So second and third when he came out of the game.
Yeah, they had a 1-run lead as well. So they had a 1-run lead, single, double, and they pulled them. So
makes sense.
But he was kind of cruising to that point. He only gave up 1 earned run, 2 unearned. The inning before 1-2-3 inning in the 5th. So it just seemed like they were in a 1-1 game. He gave up a couple of base runners. The pitch count was only 85, and they pulled him there. So 7,800 at home is not a bad spot against Arizona here.
No, it's not. Arizona is definitely coming alive a little bit. I would say at the feet of Corbin Carroll, of course, the legend Corbin Carroll has been really, but
good living up to the hype.
But this year so far, Arizona 21st against right-handed pitching in OPS. Only an 18% strikeout rate, John. I think what's even crazier, Arizona against right-handed pitching, a 5% walk rate. So if Flaherty, I mean,
they're just winging the balls in play. It seems like, right?
Just
not walking.
And that kind of feels good for Flaherty, right? Like even if he doesn't have his best control, like they are not walking. they're going to swing anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. It's a good mid-tier price. I mentioned Freeland. We don't need to go into it. I don't think you want Kelly. He's pitched well, but I don't think you want to throw him against St. Louis. But some guys have pitched well against St. Louis. Oviedo pitched well against them the other day.
Yeah,
he's actually pitched really well this season in general. So not to sleep on him there, but I don't find myself going to Merrill Kelly in the spot. I don't know if you, I don't think so either. And then we get the guys under 7K. Any of these names appeal to you at all?
So I don't hate Jordan Lyles at 5,400 only because the price. I know obviously the win equity is little to none, right? You're facing Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, Rangers also are hanging 9 runs right now on the
Dude, they actually are playing a home and home. Why they felt like they have? Because they are. They are playing like 6 straight games with one another,
Yeah.
which is insane. Because we've talked about Texas KC for a literal
Yeah.
one full
Texas,
turnaround the
Texas
rotation.
there's one series in between them, basically. Can't wait
Jacob,
to throw Nathan Uvalde against them.
like yeah, Texas is they are potent. Against righties, 23.7% strikeout rate though, and as long as if Jordan Lyles can keep the ball in the ballpark, then he shouldn't be a $5,400 pitcher. So
I mean, he was $6,900 in his last start against Texas, went 6 in the third innings there. But
I just like the price. It's more I think it's mostly a price point thing for me.
okay.
There's not really another value play on the board.
I agree.
So.
That's why I think it's Flaherty and Freeland for value for me, and then you're probably right. We're going Corbin Burns as the other pitcher here.
You don't want to pitch. You don't want to use Rich Hill coming off 6 runs or 6 innings, 2 earned against the Astros.
No,
he's having the time of his life out there.
Yeah, no, don't want to do that at all. Actually, you can if you want.
No, I'm okay.
Not a me thing personally. All right, catcher spot here. We talk all the time. If you want to spend up, knock yourself out, go for it. Sean Murphy, probably a guy we're going to be keying in on here, man. Ever since he became the starting catcher every day, looking like the guy that they traded for as the franchise catcher for the Braves. So
sure does.
$4,400 gets Weathers here. Probably going to be super chalk. You can certainly throw him in your lineup. You got Elias Diaz. We talk a lot about him. He's got a little pop this year. We love him in chorus. We love him against lefties.
Yep.
Checks both boxes. 37.
He's raking. He is raking this year.
Yeah. He's hitting 500 at home, by the way. 10 for 20 with all his home runs.
Is that good? Is that good?
Yeah, 259 on the road, 500 at home. I wish DraftKings could figure out their OPS number because it just is.
I know, it's brutal.
Brutal.
Well, all you got to do is it's
slugging.
It's the slug. Yeah. Well, no, their slug is messed up.
Yeah, I know because it's zeros. They don't calculate.
John, I got our punt catcher. We don't need to look at the rest of the position.
Oh God, who's Jonah Heim playing?
No, Jan Gomes gets a lefty 2,200. Jan Gomes was our favorite lefty punt. Had a double dong 2 games ago.
He did.
And he stole a base in that game, by the way.
Yes, he did. Because I bet. So I ended up hitting it anyways. It was the Nico Horner game.
It was the Nico Horner game.
It was the Noah Syndergaard, and I was like, Nico Horner stolen base. He ends up getting out. They work their way through the lineup, and Jan Gomes steals it back. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And then Horner eventually stole it back anyways. So.
I think he stole 2, and I think he ended up getting you. Yes, because we messaged. I said you should have just done a waterfall of Nico Horner stolen bases.
Yeah, I'll find out right now. So I almost bet it again. Did he steal 2? No, he only stole 1.
Okay. No, he did. No, he stole 2, right?
Yeah. 2. Yeah, stole 2. Yeah. I don't know if that was the Syndergaard game then. He only stole 1 in the Syndergaard game. No, maybe you're right.
No, I think it was
2. Yeah, he did. You're right. Because that's what happened. So I actually bet it 2 nights in a row. And he hit it. So. And then he had a live line that I was looking at because so that's what it was. So I bet against Syndergaard and then I bet it again against Grove because Grove actually is another guy that allowed a lot of stolen bases in his limited pitching time. It's kind of interesting. You start paying attention to guys who can and can't hold people on base, especially now with the 2 pitch limit, pickoff attempt limit. Mm-hmm. Plus Nico Horner is always looking to run. So he's on there. It kind of works out. All right. Anyways, catcher, I agree with you. Jan Gomes against a lefty that plays. We like Elias Diaz, and we are in on Sean Murphy. Those are our 3 catchers. We don't really need to go much more than that.
Victor Caratini, if he starts, coming off 2 really good games, he's 2,200. I don't know if he's going to start, but if he starts.
Wasn't he always better against lefties, though? But he did have 4 hits. Jesus.
Yep. Yes, on both fronts. Better against lefties. Still $2,200.
Dave Moreno's 22 if we're not playing Flaherty. I know he's been kind of crap to start, but maybe slowly working his way out of it. All right, first base. CJ Crone, 5,400.
Yeah, probably.
Always Matt Olson. Just for always play Matt Olson.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Lefty, righty, doesn't matter.
And always play Matt Olson. Nelly against a returning Freed at 43.
I mean, you could always also play Pete Alonso. I know it's Dustin May, good pitcher, but like, golly, dude, this guy he's gonna hit 50 home runs this year.
Rowdy Tellez against Flexen.
Yeah, it's hard not to like Tellez 35. Flexen has been a reverse splits guy, but I'm perfectly fine using Rowdy for a cheap home run. Good pitchers environment, but it is a good environment good matchup rather for Rowdy.
You got Trey Mancini versus Mueller, the lefty, at 2,700.
Yeah, he's struggling pretty badly.
Yeah.
But I told you, I think the Cubs are like a good team.
Cubs are going to be the team we lose the most money on this year.
No. Never anyone more than the Twins. I don't care what you like. I don't care what happens.
The Tigers all the time. This is the Tigers year. I'm glad Jaimer can start hitting for Washington.
Yeah, true. Yeah. He has been pretty good. So like Mueller has been kind of good this year. Doesn't really strike anyone out. So many ground balls, dude. Ugh, disgusting. It's hard. I hate like stacking against ground ball pitchers, because like it's just
it's actually kind of too bad that deGrom is going up against Kansas City, because I swear Kansas City is very close to breaking out. Pasquantino homered. Bobby Witt had 3 straight games of 3 hits. I feel like they're just on the edge of doing some damage here. But they're about to get just shut down, so can't really go with Pasquantino here.
No, I mean the price is like we've said it for a couple slates. Like this is just too cheap. He is too good to be this cheap. So like tomorrow, when it's not Jacob deGrom, or
Mm-hmm. Here's maybe a number worth paying attention to. Carlos Santana on the season is 6 for 13 with 3 doubles against lefties. That is a 462 batting average.
And he's going into Coors.
Against Freeland. Last season, so definitely the right split for him. Last season against lefties, 265, 789 OPS versus righties, 178, a 655. More power coming from the right side. Against righties, rather, 16 of his 19 home runs. Were
better hitter from the other side.
Way better hitter from the other side. Always been the case. 2021, 283, 700 OPS versus lefties, 180 against righties. So definitely the right side of the platoon here for Carlos Santana.
I'm okay with it. Because I like I said, like
I looked up your numbers, by the way, on Freeland. So his ERA, as we know, at home this year is a pristine 1.42. He's got a FIP of 4.79, an xFIP of 5.03.
I'm telling you, and so my point was going to play right into that. Like, how Kyle Freeland can throw 2 good games.
51% hard contact rate,
dude. It is not like that. Is just
51% fly ball rate.
We talked about this exact scenario kind of with Zach Greinke earlier, right? It's like 2 good starts for Greinke, and we're like, all right, there's obviously regression coming. There is regression coming, and it's in the way of Colby Conway's
is it in
favorite
the way
team,
of Pittsburgh, though?
Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah, listen, we laugh, but like Pittsburgh does have some bats against lefties that we're gonna like. Rodolfo Castro hit lefties really well last year. Brian Hayes is like actually becoming a baseball player again. Brian Reynolds is an amazing baseball player on a team he doesn't want to be on.
Right.
Andrew McCutchen is raking right. Like, I do think we're gonna get to some Cubs here.
It would have been such a good O'Neal Cruz spot.
It would have been. Well, O'Neal Cruz is like a negative against lefties.
Sure, that's fair.
It's fun to imagine O'Neal Cruz just in Coors in general.
Hitting lasers,
yeah.
It's like when we used to like make some popcorn and watch Stanton in Coors Field.
Correct.
Here we go. Exactly. All right, so that's first base. We'll keep our eyes on some Pittsburgh Pirates here. Second base position, Mookie Betts is at your top still, 59. Simeon, 54. Brendan Donovan, 47. We got Ozzie Albies versus the lefty. Ring the bell. Homer today, 4,600.
Yep.
Certainly a guy that we'll find ourselves likely gravitating towards. Is Bay? Bay's a lefty, though.
He's a lefty, yeah.
Kind of a killer there.
They're going to probably lead. I assume they're going to lead Cabrian Hayes off here. That would be my assumption. That's like what they've typically done against lefties. So Bay probably hits near the back of the lineup.
Okay. It's probably just locking in Albies here for me at this range.
Yeah, I mean, we also haven't gotten any steals from Albies either. Like, we know the power bat is his power bat is from the right side, which we get him here. Weathers is not going to weathers the storm. I think I used that joke last time he's on the mound, and we still haven't gotten any speed. And again, it's going to be tough for him to run on a lefty, but like, I'm not against. I still think with the rules in play, like, he can still run. I think Nolan Gorman is also in play here. He continues to rake at plus 4K. He's just driving in a lot of runs.
Yeah.
Hitting for power.
Yeah, it's pretty legit. Yeah.
So like Gorman against Merrill, if you're not.
Merrill Kelly was a reverse splits pitcher in the past.
I think we figured it out that last year he was not, but he has been largely a reverse splits pitcher.
So something to maybe peek at there. Let's see. Corner to 39 is kind of interesting. It's Mueller there. I know it's not the ideal stolen base spot with the lefty on the mound, but again, he looks to go. Let's see here. Kemp's another stolen base guy.
Yep.
If he actually gets on base, he's got 2 in the last 10 games. You mentioned Rodolfo Castro. He's 3,200. We can play him at short. We can play him at second.
Yeah.
So,
he's
all about preference there.
Look at that. He's hitting 333 on the year. He's hitting 393 over his last 10 games. And I want to look up the splits, but he hit lefties extremely well last year. As I pull it up, he should hit in the middle of their lineup. And middle of a lineup in cores is obviously ideal.
Yep.
Against lefties last year, Rodolfo Castro, 275, John. That's not what we're looking for. 600 slug. 600 slug.
It's okay.
338 ISO, 382 WOBA. Elite power numbers for Rodolfo Castro. Those are elite. He hit 9 home runs against right-handed pitchers in 100 less at-bats than he did against righties. He hit 6 home runs in 100 less at-bats against the split. So
906 OPS plays.
Yes.
Certainly plays. Let's see. Do we even have any BVP maybe here? No.
I'd assume we don't, and if we do, it's like
Colorado. Let's see. Colorado, Freeland, Overwater. not a lot of
not playing him. Can't play him anymore. Can't play him.
We can play him at short. We can play him at second. We'll see where we end up fitting him in down the line there. But listen, we think again Pittsburgh maybe sneaky if we think the Freeland's gonna be. It won't be sneaky in a sense that because it's cores, but they're all cheap. So it's cheap as like a good stack too, So.
Right, and they're cheap, and we have expensive offenses like Texas and St. Louis and Toronto, and like not that any of those like Atlanta against Ryan Weathers. Like,
I think that's going to ultimately be the spot for us, right? Because we'll play Castro at short, so we can play Albies at second. We're not going to play Grissom here, I think that's probably the way to go because we do like Austin Riley, we do like Ronald Acuna. We probably don't play Matt Olson, but hey, we did like
Carlos Santana,
Murphy, right?
And we liked Carlos Santana at first, right? So
100%. So, speaking of the position, Austin Riley is $5,600 here, going up against Weathers. Always in play. And then after that, I don't know. I don't know where you go from there. I mean, listen, it's not like Arenado, Machado, Chapman are bad. I'd rather pay for Riley in those spots.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd rather pay for Riley, and I agree on all fronts. I think everyone is pretty much fine. I probably don't get anyone until like
Hayes at 38, right? Like,
yeah, I think Patrick Wisdom, if you do want to go the Cubs route, he's hit a home run in three straight games. Like he has massive power. He is a 30 home run candidate again this year. He's like the pivot off of Brian Hayes. He has a little better eligibility too. So yeah.
love the pricing too. He's like 5K, 46 homers, 4K homers, 44, 39.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, just no consistency with the algorithm here. Seems like
None.
Yeah, good power upside as a one-off. Probably not many people getting the Cubs.
Nope.
You mentioned Brian Hayes. He's 38, $100 there. Montero at 33 against Hill.
Yeah. So like, here's the thing: the Rockies are just not being played in course. Like everyone's just playing the visiting team, and I can't say I blame them. But Rich Hill's allowed 6 home runs in 3 starts, so we do have to factor that into our lineup construction here. The Rockies are also cheap. Montero 3,300 is a really good value. It's going to be hard to get to him on DraftKings, where you're basically playing Montero and not playing Austin Riley.
Yeah.
But I think if you're not playing Austin Riley that means you're possibly like.
I would say the only other option outside of the Coors game is Brett Beatty's min price 2K. If he's making his debut here against May, would you throw him in a line? I mean, the dude was just mauling baseballs.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
2K, I imagine he probably gets a decent order spot. I don't think they're going to hit him 9th. You know,
he's not like I don't think he is like a must play like some rookies have been at 2K. But I do think he is in play.
A lot of people played NATO today. NATO, you know, whatever. Am I using the NBA pronunciation there?
Yep.
He didn't play well, obviously,
Yep.
but he was like 28% roster because he was mid price.
Right.
If you're on a slate with deGrom and some of these other guys here, you know, maybe he does play
right
because of the cost there. So
yeah, I definitely think he's in play. I just like, you know, if he goes 1 for 4 at his price, doesn't hurt. But like if Austin Riley hits 2 home runs, that hurts.
Fair. Shortstop position. Trey Turner here's at 61. Bichette, Swanson against a lefty. We know we like those splits generally. Xander's got a lefty and Fried. You know, your top price guys. We've talked about Rodolfo Castro already having the eligibility. Any of the top price players that you're more in favor of than the others?
I mean, I'm always okay playing Trey Turner.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't seen any power from him, but obviously that's going to come.
Only 3 stolen bases, too. It's kind of like...
Yeah, he's hitting everything. He's just not... It's not for power, and he's not really stealing bases. So, like, I can get to Turner. Swanson, I think, is okay in a Cub stack.
Another guy, no power yet, but hitting 358. So.
Yeah. I think I really like the upside from Adames, and that's primarily because Flexen is a reverse splits pitcher, and Adames has been a reverse splits hitter over the last few years. So I like that spot. And then just kind of like murky waters until Chris Taylor really at 3,500.
Yeah, starting to hit a little bit back-to-back games and home runs, and we know he hits lefties. But we mentioned Castro's right there at 32, most likely to be playing him over at that price point. And, you know, Grissom's 31. If you wanted to pivot and get more of a Braves angle there, you can certainly take a peek. But that's probably it at short for me.
Yes, that would be it for me as well.
Going on to the outfield spot here again, loaded talent. And we know that there's going to be some spend-up opportunities. We've discussed stacking Atlanta here today. $6,500 for Ronald Acuna against a lefty. You know, big price tag to pay off. We certainly know he can. He's going to fit a lot of lineups.
Yeah, I mean, the Braves are so expensive.
Which is helpful when Pirates are not expensive.
And
except
Rockies.
For Brian Reynolds, who is...
And Rockies, truthfully. Like, both sides of this game are...
Chris Bryant against Hill, lefty-righty there at 55, kind of up there in price.
Well, like Profar, we'll get like Montero and Profar
Mhm.
and Nolan Jones. I guess they sent Nolan Jones back down, huh? They didn't even give him a chance.
They give him a chance. Yeah, Montero
Jonathan,
came back and they sent him down.
Jonathan Daza, like they have like some interesting cheap guys. But yeah, I mean Acuna is as elite as it gets. Hitting for power, running on every time he gets on first base. He's getting on base a lot.
Seven
30.
seven stolen bases already
Yeah,
this
he's
year.
nuts, dude. 34. He's been on base 34 times in 16
Yeah,
games.
25 of 67 already on the year. So pretty gross. He's healthy, right?
Yep.
Coming last year, he
Yep.
came back from the injury a little slow. Hopefully, he stays healthy because that dude is looking like the 101.
He sure
Uh,
is.
for sure there. And then again, we have the other guys at the top. Would you play? Reynolds. Has the split. The switch hitter split tier. So 6K gonna if you're paying for Pittsburgh, we say this all the time. Like it really makes sense to stack a team and then not take their best hitter. You certainly can, but as we discussed, it feels like there's enough value here to get Reynolds in the lineup if you're going that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think Reynolds obviously he slowed down a little bit after what, like a 6 game stretch of
Yeah.
just like pure domination, but um he's the best. I don't think it's like a stretch to say he's the best player in course tomorrow. So um what's nothing wrong with getting the best player in the best hitting environment in your lineup.
Oh, I agree with you 100%. Any other 5K guys in this spot? I mean, again, they're all talented. We know this, but if you're, we talk all the time, you kind of have to eliminate player pools and key in on core stacks. What other guys up here are we targeting?
Um, of like the 5K range, like you can get to Mookie. David Peterson is wild at times, and when the walks get going, he's loses control and can get hit around a little bit. So I'm okay getting to Mookie. Chris Bryant, obviously 55, but just like no power. Hit a home run the other day on the road. I guess that's good to see.
Yeah.
Um, I generally wouldn't mention McCutcheon at this price point, but he's been very good, and he's been very good specifically against lefties over the past few years. So he's gonna hit them. He's gonna hit third.
Yep.
He's gonna be in the middle of this lineup. 333 over his last 10 games. Like I'm good getting to him. I don't think it's like a priority, but if you're running a Pittsburgh stack, he's probably included, right? Like he's
Yeah, I would say probably. It's been a little bit since he's hit lefties really well. 2021, he hit 293 with 1,000 OPS against left-handed pitching. Last season, 221 with a 730, a little bit more pop against lefties, but the batting average wasn't great. And this year, he's only 1 for 11. Again, small sample size. You don't really know the lefties he's gone up against, but he's smashed righties.
okay.
He's 12 for 31, 387, 1145 OPS. So,
Does that take you away from him then at 5K?
probably not just because, again, well, it may because I don't know if you can get him and
Reynolds and deGrom.
Reynolds in all those guys in your lineup. So he'd probably be the first out for me.
Okay. I'm not. I can't argue that. It's
Yeah.
it's a tough sell.
Yep. Plus, he's not the McCutcheon of old, though.
He
It's
is not.
also
He
a
is
little
not. He is
little
not.
difficult to go in there. Speaking of players that are not the one of their old, you have Yelich here against Flexen. He's $4,800. I like the Milwaukee offense.
Yeah, so do I.
Can they get the Flexen today? Maybe. They got dominated by Yu Darvish today.
You get them on a good night and they score you 11 runs. You get them on a bad night, they get a shutout. Like
Right.
it's just they are. This is who I think we're going to lose the most money on because they're going to be like so boomer bust all year long.
We're gonna play Rowdy. We're gonna play Winker. We're gonna play all these guys,
and we're going to get them on the 0 for 4s. We're going to get
Yep.
them on the 2 for 4s with 2 home runs. Think about their lineup. They have like just a bunch of guys that like were really good at one point. Like Winker, really good in Cincinnati. Yelich, the best player in baseball for like a 2-year stretch.
Right. Rowdy Tellez hit 35 home runs last year.
Rowdy
Garrett Mitchell's out there power speed combo. Like we're all and they're all like lefty bats. We're just gonna
Yeah, I
smash
know.
them every bad righty matchup. We're just gonna go Brewers
Oh
as
boy.
our alt 2 stacks here, and just either collect the money or cry. So, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna be in on them. I agree with you there for sure.
Lots of tears. Lots of tears.
Lots of tears. JD Martinez is 4,400. That's fine. I don't know. He's gonna continue to hit in the middle of that lineup. I think the Mets are kind of an interesting play today against May because again, we know May has pitched really well. But like Nimmo's 42. You talked about Pete Alonso there with the power, so maybe a little bit of a contrarian play with the Mets on this slate.
I mean, Dustin May hasn't allowed a lot of power this year. I'm okay with it. Not a lot of people are going to get there.
I don't think so. That's the thing. I don't think many people are going to get there. When's Michael Harris come back? Just a question. Yet to be cleared to take a lot of batting practice. I was just curious. Let's see. Nootbaar came back. He's 37.
Hit a home run today on Sunday.
Hitting him down in the lineup, but he's back out there playing.
The problem is going to be, and we've said it all year, and I'm going to keep saying it. Like St. Louis just has too many guys. They just have too many players.
Well, guys are the same guy. Right? Like,
yeah, they have 6 outfielders that probably could play every day.
Yeah,
on a lot of teams, and
they have a lot of guys that can play second base, outfield.
They have, I know. So like, as long as you're hitting, you're probably in that lineup. So if Nootbaar's in the lineup, yeah, he's.
Jerkson Profar is 36. You mentioned we get down to him eventually. Here we go. He's batting average isn't great, but there aren't many games. He's got more games with hits than games without hits this year. So he's just 1 for 4ing, 1 for 5ing every game, but in the right spot, certainly could take advantage here. And again, Rich Hill, not really very good.
Well, and all his damage is at home. He has 4 extra base hits this year. 3 are in course. He's hitting 280 at home. He has 2 home runs at home. All 5 RBIs at home. Like, gonna lead off at home. Yep. And the key phrase in all of that wasn't Jerkson Profar. It was at home.
At home, correct.
I like Profar at this price tag.
We got a revenge game narrative here for Connor Joe.
I clicked it on the same time you did.
Connor Joe, this year against left-handed pitching, his only home run came against the lefty. He is 4 for 10, small sample size, but that's a 400 batting average with a 1,300 OPS. So,
dude, his DraftKings picture just makes me want to play him.
You want to play him?
He's so smiley. He's so happy. Like, yeah. I'm so happy for Connor Joe for being so happy to be on Pittsburgh. Like, he has the Pittsburgh hat on in this picture and everything. Like, he was so happy to take that picture, and he's probably the only one. Yep. Because they didn't even give him a hype video. They gave Vince Velasquez one. They didn't give him one.
Doesn't have that first base eligibility, that we had last year at times, but outfield at $3,500. And again,
I like it.
Speaking it into existence here, these cheap Pittsburgh guys. Let's see here. I mean, if you're not playing Corbin Burns, would you play Jared Kelenic?
Yeah, of course.
Even when you think he's out, he just comes back. He steals a bag for you,
right?
Yeah. So like,
yep. He's been awesome.
Doing it all. McCarthy, our boy, still hasn't really figured it out. Sadly,
well, why is Corbin like this is the problem? Like we're week 4.
Yeah.
There is the NBA playoffs. There is like DraftKings actually does not give a crap right now.
Being $3,100. Yeah.
What, dude? He has been awesome in every facet of the game. There is literally no reason.
I feel like that's a click it right there. So,
and it's Flaherty's been good, but the control issues. If Corbin Carroll walks, forget it.
He's gone.
Forget it, dude. Right? Forget it.
Yep. Garrett Mitchell's 3K. I do like myself some.
Continues to hit.
Yeah. He gets on. He can run a little bit. You mentioned Daza. Just no power with Jonathan.
No power.
Goes to the school of Yandy Diaz.
You want to know who has power, John? Brent freaking Rooker. How about this guy? This guy has been. This guy has
3-game stretch of 4 home runs. Yeah.
This guy has been on one lately. He is
They find these guys. Like it was Seth Brown last year. Guy just like all of a sudden, I had 30 home runs this year, whatever. No big deal. Like seems like Rooker is going to be that guy this year.
Would you? Okay, let's have a real talk about Oakland real quick. Only because Hayden Wesneski on the mound.
I know. Story Ruiz, dude, running all over everybody here.
So hear me out. So like Wesneski has more walks per 9 than he has strikeouts per 9.
Yeah.
He has allowed 3 home runs. Lefties have a 670 WOBA. Righties have a 425 WOBA.
Are you trying to talk us into playing the worst offense in baseball?
I'm not like talking about playing like full stack, but like Laureano 4K. Like
Ruiz is interesting to me because that guy
is a speed demon.
Dude, an absolute monster on the base paths.
Yeah, he is. And
he's 2,800. He's got 4 stolen bases over the last 10 games. He's hitting 360 over the last 10. A lot of people were wondering because his numbers were pretty inflated because he played in the PCL. Like his minor league numbers were wild. But if he gets on base, he's running. So like, yeah, I could get there in a multi-lineup situation for sure.
What about him, Ruiz, Rooker, 2-man stack?
But if you're playing 2 outfielders from Oakland, you can't play
I know.
Or Acuna or Reynolds or
Yep, agreed.
It's all of those good players. I mean, how does Marcell Ozuna still have a job? He's hitting 075 on the year.
Oh, it's unbelievable. He is long for Major League Baseball. He is gone, and I can't wait. He is a terrible human.
Oscar Cole is all the way down to $2,400.
Tough matchup.
It is.
He hasn't been good. Tough matchup. Oh, you know who's gonna be in the lineup today they sent him down, the Cubs. I was gonna say Nelson Velasquez, but that's the set return of Seiya getting sent down.
Yeah, Seiya's back, yeah. Sorry, Nelson, you went 3 for 4 to homer and you're going your one game.
That was a granny. That was the granny. He had a grand slam. They were like, "Yeah, thanks for that
thanks
one
for
time."
Thanks for the win.
Do you remember those good times, Nelson?
Here's your bus ticket.
Yeah. Oh man. Hey, you know what? Shout out to the minor leaguers. They can afford a little more than.
You know what? They got a union now. They got a whole bunch of things.
They can afford at least what is it, like the Uber upgrade?
Uber XL?
Like a Uber XL, so they can afford at least an Uber XL.
Sure.
Not just a bus.
It's true.
I wish I could afford an Uber XL.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, you schedule them ahead of time. You get the Uber Black car, which is kind of like a limo service. There's a whole bunch of different things that you can do with the Uber life. All right, James, give me your home run call here. Obviously, we don't include Coors Field in our home run call. So Pittsburgh, Colorado, out.
Off the board. Okay, well, we're both gonna head over to Atlanta. John, how about this? I also we can add a wrinkle in too. Home run and stolen base. We'll do one of you. Want to do stolen base?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yo, don't give me that face. I was looking at the screen. I'm usually not looking at the screen. I'm usually ignoring what you're doing. But I was looking at the screen there.
Let's do home run and stolen base. Go ahead, give them to me.
All right, I'm gonna go home run. I'm gonna go Ozzie Albies. Okay. Is my home run call.
Bold.
And my my stolen base is going to be. Let's see. Who do we got for stolen base? Stolen base could be anyone. Any game.
Anybody could steal a base. That is true. Stolen base could be anyone.
Well, I said it. I wasn't lying about it. It could be anybody. Let's go. Who do you think is slow to the plate here? No knowledge on who's slow to the plate. Statistically, at least. I don't know. Go with your home run call.
You're absolutely killing me here.
Go with your home run call.
Yeah. My home run call is going to be Corbin Carroll.
Ooh. All right. Corbin Carroll's going to be my stolen base.
Oh, you sob. Of course.
Corbin Carroll for my stolen base call there.
All right. My stolen base call is going to be Story Ruiz.
Hell, you know what? You were about to poop on me for talking about Oakland, and here we are.
No, listen, I still don't think it's great. But
that dude can fly.
if I'm entering the 3 max, I'm probably gonna end up having myself some. I'm probably gonna make myself an Oakland Brewer stack just because it's either winning everything or losing everything.
Dude, Hayden Wesniewski 6 walks in his first 6 innings this year. Like, put Estoy Ruiz on, please, Hayden, please.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's see. Do we have a prop? We might have a prop for him. Let's see. No props yet for Estoy Ruiz. Nope. I only got the Cubs stolen base prop. Nico Horner over a half at plus 210.
Interesting.
So
that's something you're probably gonna bet.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I'm waiting. They'll give me a story prop at some point here. We're recording Sunday evening, so we don't have all of the props available to us.
Right.
But we do have some.
We do have some.
Let's see here. Anybody else? John Birdie's not on the main slate, but I mean, John Birdie is plus 220 against Logan Webb. That could be something.
John Birdie is a bold call.
Yeah, plus 220 for a guy that literally runs all the time.
Right.
Pretty decent. Nimmo's plus 700. I guess they just don't think he's gonna get on base against May. So Starling Marte is plus 165. Nimmo's plus 700. But Nimmo steals back, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has a couple stolen bases. Marte is like creme de la crop.
Sure.
Of the stolen base. I think Nimmo has like 3. Let's look. Brandon Nimmo. What
Garrett
is
Mitchell plus 310 to steal a bag.
Brandon Nimmo 3 stolen bases this year.
Swiped one today.
Brandon Nimmo did?
Yeah. No, sorry.
Mitchell. Okay. Yeah, Nico Horner's can definitely steal. I mean,
right? If he gets on,
So lefty on the mound, though. That's the problem. Lefty on the mound.
That's fair. I don't know what his lefty-righty stolen base splits are, but I can't imagine he has many against a lefty.
Yeah, I can't imagine he does.
All right, let's build our lineup then. You're taking Corbin Carroll for your stolen base. Who did you say your home run guy was?
Ozzie Albies.
Ozzie Albies. All right, let's build a lineup. I have, let's see, DeGrom plugged.
Corbin Burns probably was.
Okay, Corbin Burns.
Right, we were probably gonna go Corbin Burns there, right?
Is that or Flaherty, I guess.
We're gonna probably play Corbin Carroll, right?
Yeah, probably. But
so
we don't have to, but probably.
How do you feel about Burns? I mean, if we go Pittsburgh, like we're going to have savings, or if we play like
I guess it all depends on. I mean, I guess if we're punting catcher with Yanni here.
Yep, or Elias Diaz in that game.
Yeah, it's $1,000 difference though between Elias and Gomes. So if we're going double spend up at pitcher,
Rodolfo Castro at shortstop.
Yeah, Rodolfo Castro at short. Are we going Carlos Santana at first, or did we want to spend up at first?
I like Carlos Santana, so
okay. And obviously we're going to play Brian Reynolds. So if we did a Santana, Castro, Reynolds stack with DeGrom, Burns, and Gomes, it is about $4K a player to fill out the lineup. Corbin Carroll was free.
31,
31. So that's 4,200 a player. You want
Albies is 4,600.
Yeah, Albies. Can you Albies Riley? Albies Riley gets us a $2,600 outfielder,
which is like Estoy Ruiz.
I wish it was. Hilliard won't play against.
Oh, we're 100 off the GOAT, Brent Rooker too. Unlucky, really.
Let's see here. All right, so if we don't go Riley, even though we like Riley,
it feels bad not going Riley.
It does feel bad, but we can go Patrick Wisdom. We're playing Yanni Gomes already.
Yeah, it's Wisdom.
Or we can just continue to, Brian Hayes stick with the 4 Pittsburgh stack.
Yeah, how about we play Hayes and see how that looks? Okay. What do we have?
4,400. I mean, they're the same price kind of. So it's $4,400 for an outfielder. I mean, we can.
And then you can play Wisdom. You can just play Wisdom in the outfield. I don't really like this tier. Like, no, I don't dislike it. But like Tyler O'Neill doesn't really pique my interest. Neither does Nimmo really. I do like Laureano, but he hasn't been great since he's been on been off steroids. So
right. If we went Flaherty instead of Burns, you go up from Carroll. We like the different. We switched the value here. So, what was our other value outfielder that we liked? I guess we could play Kelenic if we weren't going to play Burns, unless you just don't want to go against him.
Well, we had our value outfield. I'm okay playing Kelenic. If we're not playing Burns, yeah. If we're not playing Burns, Kelenic has as much upside as any outfielder down there. I do like the Oakland guys. Truthfully, like I know we joked about it, but like Wisniewski has not been good, and those two have been. So like I'm okay playing
Ricker 27 with just for the power.
Or we could do. I was thinking we could. I mean, if we wanted to get a top outfielder, I'm fine with it. If we also wanted to play Profar and just really just stack this game as my coned dog, hops in the background. And just, Did you see this? He's swiping the. Zeus is currently a cone boy. So.
All right, so that actually works. So here's the lineup with Flaherty. It's deGrom, Flaherty, Yan Gomes, Santana, Albies and Riley, Castro, Reynolds, Rooker. Profar is a one-off. But we have 4K if we don't want to play Profar.
That tier was Wisdom or Profar for me, probably, right? Like that.
Yeah, right. Or I mean, Laureano goes with Rooker if you wanted to two-man it.
They'll hit. So they'll hit. That correlates, but like, what do you prefer? Profar leading off.
Wisdom's got the power. Yeah, Wisdom's got the power. Mueller's probably the better pitcher, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think Profar is probably the play. And
okay.
I'm not against. I think those three guys we just mentioned, Profar, Laureano, and Wisdom, are all in play.
Yeah.
Mueller is just tough because he's been getting so many ground balls, and it's a good park for him.
Sure.
And I think Profar has Rich Hill opposing him, hitting leadoff, right? So.
Yeah. So to confirm, we like Brent Rooker power over Story Ruiz stolen base potential.
I don't know. I think it might be Ruiz because of Wisniewski's inability to throw strikes.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, true. Can't hit home runs if they're walking you, but you can't steal bases.
You can steal bases, especially if you're, not throwing any strikes.
Right. All right, so that's where we'll leave it. Again, this is our Flaherty build. We've showed you what the Burns build looked like before as well. James is on the playbook here for this slate, so be on the lookout for that goodness. And we'll be in the Discord. Remember, fantasyline.com/all-pro. Promo code MLB50 gets you 50% off the first 6 months. Takes you right through the end of first month of the NFL season. That gives you access to all of our sports, including access to our premium Discord where James and myself, amongst everybody else in the Fantasy Line team, are in there answering your questions. James and I will be back on Tuesday. Good luck, everybody. We'll talk to you all later.